ATG Rail here to talk about the new Netflix series with all the spoilers coming to Netflix February 22nd. This is the highly anticipated show that people have been wanting to know. Basically, is it good? Is it bad? Does it suck? Does Netflix drop the ball? At this point, I just feel like you guys are just looking for any excuse to say you don't have the $20 to subscribe every month. But needless to say, it's good. I have zero, almost zero complaints about it. Maybe, uh, but we're here to talk about spoilers for this new show. Um, M Night Shyamalan dropped the ball. People really just want to forget about that. I feel like if you look at it, you gotta, when you say Avatar, you gotta add the Last Airbender on there, because then we have two James Cameron movies that are vastly confusing. And when you talk to people about Avatar, they have no idea what you're talking about. Uh, but the show starts right off, man, with the bang with Aang, and I think they do a really really good job. One of the things that I noticed about this show too, um, was just how well they follow the story. Now, keep in mind it's only 8 episodes, so um, right off the break, you're not getting the entire thing right there. We don't You're not mastering all the elements within one season. Sorry, it's just not enough time. And that's kind of my biggest issue, is just the time. Like I kind of wish it was longer. The episodes are really 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 good. Like I said, I just wish it was longer than what it was. Um, but within the 8 episodes, we definitely get to see the bonds that are being made. We get to see the relationship with, the friendship between Katara and Aang, and man, for whatever reason, Katara's brother, just Sokka, just build upon that. Um, One of the things that you don't get enough Appa, you don't get enough Momo, but for obvious reasons, CGI. They look good, but you just don't get enough of them in the show. Majority of the time when you come in, you see them kind of already are at the location where they're at, or they're just flying to get away. So you see a little bit of that. Um, I will say, like right there in episode one, we get the entire, we get the iceberg scene. We get the a glimpse of the Avatar state in episode one. But we also get a little bit more backstory on the whole the Fire Nation taking over uh, the Air Temple, trying to take out the last Avatar, and see that a little bit more violent than I thought that we were gonna see. Like I said, for a kid show, Nickelodeon, I was expecting this to be really really tame, but it definitely was not. Um, like I said, seeing people get burnt alive, I was not expecting to see from the Fire Nation. But I feel like, you know what, that's good. We need to see the Fire Nation be assholes. We need to see the Fire Nation be the villains that we know them to be. No issues, no complaints there. Um, like I said in another review, I mean, the show just looks incredible. I have almost zero complaints about the style choices. And again, shout out to the production, the costume design, everybody involved in that. It just made this world feel like Avatar. Like I said, I'll have almost no issue there. So I'm just gonna go through a couple of various questions that, like I said, just hitting some of the spoilers, because I'm not gonna go through it point for point. But one, I'm gonna address the Avatar state. Now, the Avatar state, they do show Aang going to the Avatar state a couple times. But in this, and correct me if I'm wrong, in this one we see Kyoshi take over Aang's body and pretty much takes care of everybody. Which is, there's a scene in the show where they're being invaded by Fire Nation, and Kyoshi takes over Aang after he's like praying to her at a temple, and comes down and just wipes the floor, which I thought was really really well done. They did an incredible job with that. Like I said, I don't know where they filmed this, but it looks really really good. Um, like I said, we later in the cartoon we see what the Avatar state is of him being able to pretty much control like everything all at once, and but they do a completely different. They do a little completely different twist where, and I feel like I need to go back and watch the cartoon again because my memory is a little hazy. But Avatar having more connections with some of the previous Avatar. Right now in this season, we only get a few. We get Kyoshi and I can think of the fire. I want to the fire Avatar. They show him, and I want to say no. For the most part, we just get them within the episodes. Within the first 8 episodes. And I mean, they don't. So I know, like in the cartoon, they kind of break it down as like earth, water, fire. They kind of do it by books. They're not doing that here, so I'm not sure how like the flow of this is supposed to go, or overall how many seasons this show may get based upon how this goes. Now, I'm pretty sure the show's going to do pretty well, but again, like I said, I'm not sure how the flow of this is going to go, depending on if this gets picked up or not. I'm pretty sure it will, but that means no brainer. We definitely get more of the. I feel like they showed this again. We get the relationship between Lord Ozai and his son, and kind of like his relation, more of like the background, the relationship with them, and how it pretty much progressed to where it is, and why he pretty much has the motivation to impress his father, get back into the good graces. Now, I did see something about Zuko. Somebody was saying like, oh, Zuko's motivation to do XYZ. I don't know where you guys were getting some of your tips and hints from, like if you didn't actually watch the show, but from what I watched, it's pretty spot on and accurate to everything from the original series. I mean, obviously with a few changes here and there, but nothing major that deviated from what the actual series was. So I'm not sure what people's issue was at this point. I feel like you just wanted this to fail. You're looking for reasons why this show shouldn't be good. But again, like I said, the relationship between Ozai and Zuko I thought was really well done, showing the fight between them, showing Zuko in this show is like a little we had to wait a little while before we found out Zuko actually gave a fuck. No, we actually see like he cares, and like he has like a heart. In the show, he's not the dark, fire lord that everybody wants him to be. We see Katara, which I feel like maybe I'm off, but I feel like Katara in the cartoon already kind of was pretty well adept at waterbending. I know in this, she's kind of learning the waterbending as she goes on. Again, like I said, it's been a minute since I've seen that cartoon, but I really remember it as though she was already not like necessarily a master, but she was pretty good at it already. And this one, like I said, she progressively gets good. It almost kind of implied that because she's around Aang or like whatever, that's kind of the reason why she's a little bit better at the bending, because at first she is terrible. So that's so that's it. Katara, Gordon Cormier. I want to make sure that Gordon Cormier, who plays Aang. I mean, that casting couldn't be any better. Aang in this is almost damn near perfect. The airbending that they show in this just looks really good. I mean, I feel like showing air blast and stuff like that is really, really minimal. But they do a really good job of showing that here. And just like I said, just as far as like the elements, the fire, the water, the earth, it all looks incredible. I almost had like no issues here. We'll say that this does not go as far as we don't get Toph. Aang doesn't learn fire. He doesn't learn earth. He doesn't, like I say, doesn't pick up any of the other elements within this first season. Depending on the plan of how they want this to go, we might see a little bit more. We see a older, more mature Sokka here, who's been left in charge by his father to take care of the village. We get that. His relationship when they get to Kyoshi Island, you see a little bit of that, but not a lot. And I just want to make sure I get this right. But not Kyoshi herself, but one of the women, I cannot remember her name, one of the women that's on the island, he winds up, forming a relationship with. And I feel like this is going to be like an ongoing thing, because they show like Sokka kind of like just forming different relationships with the women of the different places they go within the split seconds that they're there. We get Cabbage Guy. If you guys know Cabbage Guy, he's the guy when they get to the one place who gets his cabbage cart wrecked. And he definitely makes a scene here, which I really appreciate. Uncle Iroh, we see a little bit of him, not a little bit, but he's obviously like 99% of the show. But just her relationship with Zuko, I really appreciate the time they're able to give that here. Like I said, this is pretty spot on. It's pretty accurate to the show. But seeing that actually acted out faithfully as it should be, they did an incredible job. Almost like zero complaints about that relationship there. Fire Lord Ozai, or for Daddy Lord Ozai, that I've been seeing comments online about. He's not in the show as much, but when he is, you feel it. You feel the presence. You feel how powerful everything is just from him. I can't wait to see more of him in the next season. I can't wait to see like if they're going to show a little bit more of his backstory. I can't wait to see if they ever get to that fight, maybe 3 or 4 seasons. I don't know. So it depends on how far this goes, but see that fight between him and Aang at the end. But like I said, so far he's been pretty good in this. We got Azula. We don't see her use the lightning in this show, at least in this first season. But as you all know, we see it from the series. Firebenders are also able to conjure lightning somehow, some way. But all elements or benders are able to like manipulate the element to do something else. So that's not really that surprising. Like Katara can do ice in here and various other things as well. We see, just want to make sure I hit all my points here. One of the things we see, they go into the spirit world in this show, which I was like, all right, I didn't think they were going to do that, which is actually done over a course of 2 episodes. They did not resolve that in 1 episode, but we go into the spirit world. I didn't know how fast the pace of the show was going to move, but it didn't move too fast, and I'm not mad about that. It definitely keeps you, entertained, and it takes its time with the story, really building the characters and the relationships. And it's not just trying to rush through the story just to get it done. I know a lot of people, like I said, just have their hopes way down just because of like the previous live action just really dropped the ball. No, this like I said before, this is clearly a lot of love and care in the show. There's a lot of paying attention, a lot of detail to almost everything that they just absolutely get right. So like I said, I have zero complaints on the matter of this show. Like I said, Avatar, like I said, 8 episodes. We do get a lot of action. We see a lot of the war. We see a lot of repercussions of the war. And you got that during the series too, but I feel like you see it a lot more here. I feel like it's more so the focus, like 100 years, the Fire Nation taking over, like they're assholes. We get a lot more of like what's going on with that. So like I said, they do a really good job of showing the oppression of the Fire Nation and how brutal they actually are, because you definitely see some people get melted. Overall, like I said, I mean, like I said, the CGI is not. The CGI is not. I want to say it's not overly used, but like it's definitely pretty good. But like I said, you don't really see Momo Appa that much, obviously, because the money. But we definitely see a lot of like the money being put into like the bending and stuff like that, obviously, to give you a better idea of like what the funds are being used for the Netflix show, which your $25 a month is going to get premium television like this. Just want to make sure, what else do I have here to talk about? Like I said, it's only 8 episodes. I want to spoil some things, but I don't want to spoil too much. Like I said, we they don't go too far in the series. Like I said, the Aang doesn't get all of his doesn't learn all the tricks in one season. I feel like majority of the season is definitely just trying to show Aang like he can't possibly do everything. Show him, it's time to grow up and save the world. It's definitely a different. I don't want to say it's a different tone, because like the series at some point it stops being this like, oh, like this kid show, and it's like, oh, okay, now it's time to get real. Same thing here, basically. Like they pretty much, like I said, just knock it out the park with this first season. But yeah, I don't want to go too deep into that. But just know, like I said, hopefully we get another season. Netflix is no reason why you haven't greenlit this already. It's incredible. Everybody has done a great job. Prepared to see some really good fights, some really good choreography. Aang does his thing. Katara does her thing. Zuko does his thing. Like I said, really, really cool. People getting shot with arrows is really good. We have a I don't want to say special guest, but what's his name? The guy from Community. I want to make sure I get this name right. Hold on, let me pull that up. Make sure I get the name right here. Community. Danny Pudi. He is playing one of the engineers that is in the show that sells out to the Fire Nation to protect the city. And then he's in the show. He does a really good job with his role. But other than that, like I said, I'm gonna leave the rest of the special guest characters that are in the show, the people in this. I'm gonna leave that at the secret that you guys figured out on your own. But just know, like I said, this is definitely worth the watch. It's 100% worth your time. Coming to Netflix, like I said, February 23rd. Check it out. I'm telling you, it's worth it. I didn't want to spoil too much for you guys because I definitely just overall wanted to be a surprise. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. Once you burn through all the episodes, but I'm telling you, it's worth the watch. But again, just let me know what you guys thought, and I'll see you guys next time for another review. See you.